Martin Laurent, also known as Alain Laurent, is a fascinating and mysterious character in the world of the young and the restless. With his sophisticated tricks and hidden tricks, he not only creates suspense but also draws those involved into a vortex of tension and danger. While he tries to escape from the police, one of the next victims of this dark plan could be Ashley Abbott. However, will Ashley become Martin's hostage, and how will this story develop? First warning: Martin on the run. Since escaping from the police, Martin has been constantly looking for old relationships to protect himself from confrontation with the law. The people he used to know have become potential partners in his escape plan. Ashley Abbott, with her kindness and concern for those around her, has become the next target. However, she does not know that she is being drawn into a dangerous game that Martin has set up. One of the important details that makes everything tense is the surprise that Martin has for Ashley. He has been in constant contact with Ashley, but does she realize that she is being drawn into a terrible game? Alan's mysterious call on a quiet morning, when everything seems to be going normally, Tracy Abbott receives a strange call from Alain Laurent, a name associated with deep secrets from the past. Tracy cannot help but feel a sense of instability in Alan's voice when he announces that instead of taking the Jabot jet, he will be flying on the last commercial flight to Paris. This not only confuses Tracy but also raises suspicions about what is really going on. Why did Alan change his plans so suddenly? What is he doing in Paris, and why does he want Tracy to meet her there? This question makes Tracy start to worry about her safety, but strangely, she cannot refuse this invitation. Could this be a trap set by Alan, or does he really have a surprise for Tracy? Ashley and the trap in Paris. The story becomes more mysterious when Ashley gradually realizes that she may be the next victim in this dangerous game. Alan has made moves that make her suspicious of his relationship with Martin. She cannot help but wonder if their past meetings were used for some dark plot. Under Alan's sweet and inviting words, Ashley is drawn into an unavoidable situation. Alan, or rather Martin, may have planned to kidnap Ashley and hold her hostage. Will she be able to realize this danger before it is too late? And if she is kidnapped, Tracy will be the first to be drawn into the search and rescue of Ashley from Martin, but will she be able to stop Alan's game in time and save her friend? The truth revealed: Alan or Martin? A key element in this story is the truth about Alan's identity. Is he really Alain Laurent, the man Tracy once loved and trusted, or is he an impersonator of Martin with malicious intent? This question not only confuses Tracy, but also creates an internal battle within her, as Tracy is faced with a crucial decision: can she trust Alan, or is she being deceived and used by a deceitful person? If Alan is really Martin Laurent, then everything that has happened before is just part of a larger conspiracy. Martin not only wants to hide from the police, but also seeks to destroy Ashley and Tracy's relationship. Everyone he can control will become his pawns. The trap in Paris and the final salvation. When Tracy realizes that things are not as they seem, she begins to suspect Alan and decides not to go to Paris alone. But will Tracy realize everything before it's too late? Will she find a way to warn Ashley before she is kidnapped and imprisoned in a strange place? Or will someone appear, saving her from the trap that Martin has set? While Tracy prepares for the dangerous journey, another call from Alan leaves her surprised and confused. He seems to be trying to find a way to contact her, but what is his true purpose? Is this the time for Tracy to open up, face the truth about Alan and all the dark plots he is planning? The unexpected ending and new developments the following days will not only clarify Martin's plot, but also help Tracy, Ashley, and other characters understand more about Alan's true character. The story does not stop at rescuing Ashley from Martin's hands, but also opens up a challenging relationship between Tracy and Alan, between trust and suspicion. Can love and trust prevail over conspiracy and deceit? As Tracy prepares for her dangerous journey, another call from Alan leaves her surprised and confused. He seems to be trying to find a way to contact her, but what is his real purpose? Is this the time for Tracy to open up and face the truth about Alan and all the dark plots he is planning? Unexpected ending and new developments the following days will not only clarify Martin's plot, but also help Tracy, Ashley, and other characters understand more about Alan's true character. The story does not stop at rescuing Ashley from Martin's hands, but also opens up a challenging relationship between Tracy and Alan, between trust and suspicion. Can love and trust prevail over conspiracy and deceit? Any one of us can be deceived by those we love. But in this world full of scheming, only sobriety and clarity can help us see the truth. And with the dangerous Martin Laurent, the battle between trust and betrayal continues, and it's not over yet. The young and the restless, dark plots and betrayal have always been a major theme, and this time around Martin Laurent, aka Alan Laurent, only adds to the drama and tension. Tracy Abbott, a character who has always stood her ground in difficult situations, is now facing an unexpected danger. No one expected her to fall into Martin's trap without even realizing it, and at times she couldn't tell if it was Martin or Alan himself. The story begins when Tracy receives a call from Alan, but soon she discovers that things are not as they seem. She can't help but wonder if she's dealing with the real Alan or just a perfect impersonator, Martin Laurent, Alan's twin brother, whom she can't recognize. Ignored warnings. Tracy has been haunted by the name Alan, as it is a part of her past. However, there is no denying that her stubbornness has prevented her from listening to the warnings from her closest friends, Jack and Ashley. Jack is always wary of Alan's sudden change in plans and even tries to warn Tracy that something is wrong, but Tracy is too trusting of her feelings, believing that Alan is simply a man who loves her. Ashley, Tracy's companion, also notices the strangeness in Alan's actions, but Tracy ignores these warning signs. And then, she pays the price. Running in the dark, who is Martin Laurent? Tracy begins to have doubts when strange events continue to occur. The sudden change in plans, the trip to Paris, and the mysterious calls from Alan make her feel uneasy. Things start to unravel when Tracy realizes that Martin Laurent, whom she thought was dead, is actually alive and pretending to be her twin brother. Alan, whom Tracy trusted all this time, may not be the real Alan. The big question arises: if Martin is really on his way to Paris, what danger could this pose for Ashley? Martin, in a previous encounter, had tricked Ashley into thinking he was Alan. He had done a perfect impersonation and made Ashley trust him. Now, there is no reason why Martin couldn't do it again. He could even keep Alan's image long enough to lure Ashley into a dangerous trap. As Tracy gets deeper into the story, she realizes that the dangers Ashley is facing are real. If Martin really has decided to kidnap Ashley as a hostage, things will get extremely complicated. And Paris, the city of romance, becomes the scene of tragedy. Tracy had hinted to Ashley about her engagement, where they would go to Paris together to choose a wedding location. But Tracy could not have imagined that this beautiful plan would be the one that Martin would exploit. Martin is very clever at creating surprises and making his victims feel safe in his hands. Therefore, he will easily make Ashley believe that everything is normal. But the truth is, Martin is just taking advantage of that feeling of safety to approach and eventually trap Ashley somewhere she cannot escape. Will Ashley realize the danger before it is too late? Drugging and kidnapping, Martin's scheme. The story becomes more tense when Tracy begins to discover that Martin may have planned to drug Ashley to control her. Martin, always cunning, may use a narcotic to make Ashley lose control, then lock her up in a remote place. Any trust Ashley had for Alan would be shattered in a dark night filled with deception. With Ashley's kidnapping plan complete, Martin will not only have a hostage in his hands, but he will also be able to use her as a bargaining chip. He can demand ransom or even use Ashley to achieve his goals. And Tracy's warnings about the upcoming encounters will become a complete existential fear, as everyone realizes that Ashley may have been trapped in the hands of someone who is completely different from who she thought. Unexpected ending. What should Tracy do? Tracy, after days of confusion and blindly trusting Alan, finally faces a painful reality: she has missed the warnings from her family and friends. She feels like she has been defeated in a game of chess that she cannot control. What should she do to save Ashley, when everything seems too late? Will Tracy have the courage to face the truth about Alan and save Ashley from Martin, or will she continue to live in the darkness of deception? The events that follow will inevitably force her to face a crucial decision. Will her feelings be strong enough to overcome Martin's cunning, or will she continue to fall into the trap she has created? These questions will not only affect Tracy and Ashley, but also create a complex picture of trust, betrayal, and ruthless intrigue in the world of the young and the restless. It's only just beginning, and the future of these characters will have many surprises ahead. There are no shortage of complex and tense stories, but this time around Martin Laurent, the scheming and cunning, adds even more drama. After seemingly escaping his past, Martin not only survives but continues to drag those involved into a dangerous game. Things get even more complicated when he targets Ashley Abbott, one of his most important victims. Will Ashley be able to keep her life in the hands of this madman? And can Tracy see through Martin's deception and stop the tragedy before it's too late? Martin Laurent, the madman and his cruel scheme. Martin, a character who has long been a mystery on The Young and the Restless, is now carrying out more ruthless plans than ever. After impersonating his twin brother Alan, Martin has been relentlessly manipulating those around him. His target is now none other than Ashley Abbott, and he is willing to do anything to achieve his goals. His actions become increasingly erratic and terrifying, and only those close to Ashley can sense the danger of the situation. Martin has not only become a companion of deception, but has also shown his insane nature. When he starts acting, things quickly spiral out of control. Martin's madness makes him capable of anything, and no one knows how far he will go. Is he really kidnapping Ashley this time to use her as a bargaining chip, or does he have something even worse in mind? Ashley Abbott, does she have a chance to survive? Ashley, for all her intelligence and bravery, is certainly not someone who is easily fooled. But when faced with the scheming Martin, things become extremely difficult. Once again, Ashley is caught up in Martin's cruel game. He has successfully impersonated Alan before, and now he may do it again to lure Ashley. However, this time Martin is not just using Ashley as a bargaining chip. He may go further, even threatening her life. The big question is whether Ashley can recognize the danger lurking? And can she save herself before it is too late? The danger is imminent and can explode at any moment. Martin may kidnap Ashley and take her to an unknown place where he can easily control her and use her as leverage in his next games. But will Ashley soon realize the truth about Alan and find a way to escape Martin before it's too late? As things gradually become chaotic, Tracy Abbott, the trusted older sister, finally realizes that Alan is not who she thought he was. Not only does she realize that Martin, whom she thought was dead, is alive and pretending to be Alan, but she also feels worried about the risks Ashley is facing. Tracy is the first to notice the strangeness in Alan's actions. She is alert and can see through hidden schemes. But will Tracy's alertness be enough to save Ashley from Martin? Can she act fast enough to prevent disaster from happening when the truth gradually comes out? When Tracy realizes that Ashley is in Paris, where Martin may soon arrive to carry out his plans, she begins to predict what will happen. Tracy can't help but feel uneasy, especially when she learns that Martin is on his way to Paris. A dangerous situation is about to explode, and Tracy is the only one who can stop the devastation. However, Tracy is faced with a heartbreaking truth: she was too slow to raise the alarm, and it may be too late to save Ashley. Paris, a place of danger and betrayal. As the plot unfolds, the story takes us to Paris, where Ashley is and where Martin may carry out his schemes. Paris is no longer a romantic city but a place associated with menace and danger. Martin, with his cunning and crazy nature, may come to Paris to search for Ashley. There, he will do anything to possess her, not only for his own ends but also to carry out his dangerous games. He may use Ashley as a bargaining chip, perhaps threaten her to get what he wants, or even draw her into a more sinister plot. Paris, where everything seems to be going smoothly, is a big trap set by Martin. But can Ashley see the danger? And is she brave enough to stand up to him? The end and new dangers. As the truth gradually comes to light, Tracy is faced with a difficult choice. Can she save Ashley from Martin? Can she act in time to save her sister? This story is not just about saving Ashley, but also about choices, decisions, and betrayals between the people we trust the most. With Martin, an unpredictable madman, anything is possible. And as his plans continue to unfold, new dangers will emerge, making the story even more intriguing and unpredictable. This tension will continue, and only time will tell whether Ashley can survive the dangerous battle that Martin is setting up. Young and the Restless is always full of unexpected plots and tense situations, and Martin Lawrence's story this time takes viewers into a more dangerous game than ever. Martin, the man who has just escaped the police's pursuit, now continues to embark on a plan full of dark and dangerous tricks. His target is none other than Ashley Abbott, and this time, he not only wants to confuse her, but also plans to kidnap her, using her as a bargaining chip. Can Ashley escape Martin's clutches this time, or will she become the next victim in his crazy game? Martin Laurent, the madman and the cunning plan. Martin Laurent has always been a mysterious character in The Young and the Restless, a scheming, cunning man who always tries to manipulate people around him to achieve his goals. After escaping the police's pursuit, Martin still operates quietly, hiding and constantly looking for old relationships to hide his existence. Although many people think he is dead or disappeared, the truth is different. He is still alive and is even planning to attack those he considers prey. And this time, his target is Ashley Abbott. Martin's plan is simple, but extremely dangerous. He wants to kidnap Ashley and use her as a bargaining chip. Ashley, a smart and strong woman, could not have imagined that she would once again become Martin's victim. Despite having been deceived by him in the past, Ashley did not realize that Martin's appearance this time was not just a coincidence. He was secretly planning to manipulate her, taking advantage of all her weaknesses to carry out his next plot. Ashley Abbott, the next victim in Martin's game. Ashley, a strong and independent woman, has always been able to deal with difficulties in life. However, she could not have expected that she would once again be targeted by Martin. Martin's appearance this time was not simply a chance reunion, but part of his dangerous plan. Martin not only wanted to deceive Ashley again but also had a bigger purpose, to kidnap her and use her as a pawn in his games. The following developments show that Ashley may become Martin's hostage once again. How will he use her to achieve his goals? The big question is whether Ashley can recognize the danger before it's too late and do something to save herself. Can she escape Martin's grasp this time, or will she become part of his dark plot? One of the key elements of this story is the connection to Paris. Ashley is now in Paris, the place where she thought she would find peace and relaxation, but it is the very place where Martin planned to kidnap her. Paris, the romantic city, has now become a deadly trap for Ashley. Martin once tricked Ashley into thinking that he was Alain Laurent, her brother, and Ashley did not realize that she was being deceived. The story of Alain and Martin may be complicated, but that does not matter to Martin. What matters is that he can exploit Ashley's trust to carry out his plan. If Martin really comes to Paris, he will not only be a ghost in Ashley's life but also a real threat. The story takes a turn when Martin takes the next step in his scheme. He not only wants to make Ashley feel safe and trust him, but he also wants to use her as a bargaining chip in his games. Ashley's days in Paris will turn into a nightmare, as she slowly realizes that she is being drawn into a game she cannot control. Martin Laurent, the madman and his strange games. Martin Laurent is not only cunning, but also a madman, willing to do anything to achieve his goals. He can easily change tactics in his plans, without any pattern, because to him, everything is just a game. A game where he decides everything. As Tracy realizes that Alan's actions are not what she imagined, she begins to realize the danger Ashley faces. Tracy knows that if she does not act quickly, things will not stop at just kidnapping Ashley, but may involve worse. Tracy begins to realize that Martin can do anything. He can kill, kidnap, or even make Ashley disappear forever. Will Ashley survive? The biggest question that viewers are asking is whether Ashley can keep her life in this situation. Martin is a man with no limits, and his next actions could be extremely brutal. He not only wants to kidnap Ashley, but also wants to use her as a card in his power game. However, Ashley is not someone who can be defeated easily. With her bravery and intelligence, she can find a way to deal with Martin and stop his plot. But can she realize Martin's schemes before it's too late? Can she use her past experiences to escape his grasp, or will she pay the price for trusting those she thought were her friends? Tracy Abbott, a race against time. While Ashley is facing life-threatening danger, her loving sister Tracy is trying to save her. However, Tracy cannot act quickly without fully understanding the danger Ashley is in. Things happen so quickly, Tracy faces a race against time to save Ashley. Tracy must not only fight Martin, but also face herself, as she realizes that her lack of vigilance and blind faith have left Ashley in the hands of this madman. Can Tracy save Ashley in time, or will she live with the regret of not acting sooner?